same thing. Now, many Nigerians have insisted that the problem of Nigeria is the legal foundation of the nation, and that it can only be addressed that way. They argue that the Nigerian Constitution of 1999 is a major cause of our current challenges. They say that it has concentrated too much power in the federal government to the detriment of the states, which are the federating units. In a multilingual, multi-religious, and diverse nation like ours, the regions or the federating units are normally given a lot of autonomy, which is actually a recognition of their diverse identities. And this is seen as a realistic way to ensure that no region is able to dominate another, and that the federating units are not subjugated by the central government. Some Nigerians have therefore called for a return to the 1963 Federal Constitution, that should replace our 1999 Constitution. Some have gone ahead to declare that the 1999 Constitution was not formulated or agreed upon by the various ethnic nationalities that make up Nigeria, and that it is therefore an illegal document and it should be thrown away. Pastor Itra, you remember that last week, a major proponent of this position, for many years now, Barrister Tony Nandi, he was here, and he too is of such a position. Now, I want to begin to come forward with some ways. What can we do? Because what you normally say is that we all know what the problems are. So there is no point repeating the problems. What we need to discuss are what should we do? So my first thing is to propose a progressive amendment of the 1999 Constitution. By that Constitution that we are operating presently, the National Assembly does not have the power to dump the 1999 Constitution. They are only empowered to make as many amendments as possible. And they have already set the machinery for this in motion. The Deputy Senate President, who is also the chairman of the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review, that's Senator Ovie Omoagege, has invited all Nigerians to zonal public hearing on the review of the 1999 Constitution to be held this month. The senator spoke on Tuesday this week, and he said that there will be 2-day zonal public hearing on the proposed alteration to the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. It will be held on Wednesday and Thursday next week at 2 centers in each of the 6 geopolitical zones. Yes, so I was talking about the Deputy Senate President, Senator Omoagege.
Yeah.
He said to address this constitutional issue, that each of the 6 zones will have 2 days. Next week, Wednesday and Thursday, that's May 26 and 27. Each zone will have 2 centers. And for example, in the North Central, Jos and Minna will be the 2 centers. Bauchi and Gombe will be hosting for Northeast. For Northwest, Kaduna and Sokoto were chosen. Owerri and Enugu have been selected to host the event in the Southeast. For the South-South, Port Harcourt and Asaba and Lagos. The time for the hearing has been fixed for 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So next week, Wednesday and Thursdays, all Nigerians that have issues, that have tangible things they feel they want amended in the Constitution, matters surrounding gender equality, governance, power devolution, local government autonomy, all these things, they will all be able to present them. And then we will follow them and make sure that they carry out the amendments. that because it's a very long process, it will, after leaving the National Assembly, it will go to all the states, and 2/3 of the states must support it. Let's recall that a 56-member committee was inaugurated last year, February, by the President of the Senate. That committee, under Senator Muyiwa, was to embark on the amendment of necessary aspects of the 1999 Constitution. So Muyiwa has promised that the committee will be all-inclusive and they are guaranteeing full participation of all Nigerians. So let's hope that they will do what they have promised. I also want to point out here that we must remember that USA's Constitution was signed on 17 September 1787 after a constitutional convention. Just like the Nigerian 1999 Constitution, the USA Constitution was not a perfect document. Rather than dump their Constitution, USA Congress, they've been making amendments to it since then. As at the last count, they have made 27 amendments, and they will continue to make more as may be required. So my first recommendation, therefore, this evening is that the most practical solution to the Constitution that we have now, I agree it's not a good Constitution. I agree it is a unitary Constitution. It is not suitable for Nigeria, but it is not practical to throw it away. So the most practical way is that we must make the most of the option of amending the Constitution progressively. So now let's look at another issue worthy of our consideration. Since we were children, we've been hearing that Nigeria's oneness is not negotiable, that the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable. Many of us have heard this many times, and we have taken it as nice and reassuring. But I believe we need to look at this again. Making statements like that can make our leaders to take people for granted, and it has been happening. It can also lead to impunity. It can lead to intolerance of divergent views. Because any little thing you say, they will say, no, Nigeria's unity, Nigeria's unity. Let us remember that any union can break. Marriages break. I'm sure many of us know of marriages that are broken. Business partnerships collapse. Marriages can fall anytime. Many nations too, they have collapsed. We should therefore not take unity for granted in our great but fragile nation. Let us look at the nation of Israel, for example. The nation of Israel was from one man, Jacob, who had children from many women. That nation, they were serving one God. They spoke one language. But in spite of that, they still broke when their king took the people for granted. The breakup of Israel into Judah and the northern kingdom under King Rehoboam, son of King Solomon, was spontaneous. They